Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault. And you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dahil mihianggan po, verbal slot.
Is that correct?
Oh, for Trump's sake. I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
All right, welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. I hope your mini lunch break was fantastic. I was able to eat some yogurt and some microwave popcorn, but then my amazing wife brought me some food. So I've got some fried rice. You can't see it because it's right here, but I'll be eating that quietly as we are returning back to court for continuation, part 2, day 1 of the sentencing phase of Jose Soto-Escalera, who has been convicted of 2 counts of capital murder. The jury is deciding, after listening to evidence put on by the prosecution and the defense, if they would recommend Jose for the death penalty or not. Only 8 of them have to agree to convict, and we're going to see here in just a minute if that's going to happen. Homemade beef stew, so good, so yummy. Oh, that is great. Big shout out, by the way, to Kim R., who was first in chat. Kim, congratulations. Kim, you've won many times before. You are, in fact, a habitual offender. You know what happens here. We are going to punish you for your promptness. You were first in chat. We're going to punish you by making you responsible for everything internet protocol related around the world. Everyone will be calling you for help to set up their Wi-Fi router, to reprogram their fridge, to reorder milk when it gets low, all the things that the internet makes possible. Possibly even setting up people's GPSs in their cars, linking their phones over Bluetooth. That's all related. It's all related. So that's your responsibility. You're going to do great, Kim. Congratulations. We're adding this one to your permanent record. Where's Greeners? I don't know. I miss Greeners too. I don't know where he is. Greeners. Where's Adam? They're probably together somewhere. All right. With that. Wow. Perfect timing. Promptly. Straight up. We're gathering up the jury right now. Let's see. Red is working on something. She's got a call she's making right now. She told us in mod chat. She'll be here shortly. Well, hopefully. The call might be long. Donna Littlefield says, I've been meaning to say thank you for pronouncing my name correctly. I gets butchered a lot. Donna, I'm just going to take a moment to sort of pat myself on the back and say it was a complete accident. Most names I get wrong. So there's that. Donna, congratulations. Thanks for having one that I guessed right. You have to say Greeners 3 times. Do I have to do it in front of the mirror, Purple Coconut? I forgot what the rules were for summoning him. Greeners in time. He better not be. Now I'm worried. What if I've silenced him and he's trying to talk this whole time and he's like, why is everyone ignoring me? Greeners, did you?
Present. I have the Zoom on in case you have anyone zooming in.
Yes, sir. Do you see a Raul Vanasco when you're waiting?
Not yet.
Okay, he indicated it might be 105 or 110.
Okay.
Join in. And he would be my first witness.
Okay. Go off the record and
Okay, I'm now scrolling through the list. I don't want to show you the list because it's long. Let's see. Few people have earned themselves a permanent spot on the hidden users list. Generally, it takes some willful effort to get there.
The defense has shown us 2 photographs that they intend to introduce to this witness, and we know we're going to object to it, so I don't know if you want to address it now.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it now.
Can we see them? Are they marked?
Yeah, they're right here.
These are now 1 and 2
Greeters was in timeout.
defense penalty phase, Judge. They are photos of the gurney in the death chamber in Florida's death chamber. I should like to introduce them through this next witness.
Who?
All right, in the state's objection.
Greeters.
I'm not sure what the relevance is. This witness is my understanding of what his testimony is. He's worked in prison or jails and prison systems in Florida and other states, and he's going to testify that he met with a defendant. He had a one-on-one. He reviewed his disciplinary records, and he's going to testify as to how he would do in a prison environment. Those pictures, one, I don't know where they are. We don't know where, if the defendant is sentenced to death, we don't know where he's going to be ever, if he is put to death, where it's going to be, if it looks exactly the same as what that photograph looks
Only
like.
one place.
I don't know where those appear to be two different photographs, because the straps on the bed are different. They're not the same. I don't know when they were taken, and obviously that part I assume is going to be. When I asked this witness if he had reviewed what he reviewed in this case, he didn't say he looked at any photographs of death penalty beds. So I'm not sure what his testimony could be in reference to those beds and what the relevance is for his testimony, or why the jury needs to see these photographs.
I actually didn't ask Mr. Benasco to review any of these photos until after his deposition. Not that I was trying to hide anything, I just didn't think of the idea until afterward. It is certainly relevant. It's the issue at hand here. This will be Mr. Soto-Escalera's final place while he is alive. It's part of the process that we're talking about here. There's nothing unfair about letting the jury see it. Just as it's not unfair to let the jury see photos of the victim so they can determine injuries, let them see where this man will meet his end if that's what they declare.
State. In response to
the victim's injuries, it's part of the elements that we have to prove in the case. I can't. What is his testimony going? What is his testimony going to be about these photographs?
Did you want to clarify that? What is his testimony going to be? Is the state's question regarding the photographs?
His testimony is going to be: does this fairly? Are you going to ask the question? Does this fairly and accurately represent the gurney in the death chamber in Florida? And I assume his answer will be yes, and that will be the end of it.
Steve?
And what is the relevance as to what has to be for this case for what the ultimate decision is?
It's part of the process. Listen, I actually have printed out here the protocol, which I might look to enter into evidence. What happens when? Who is assigned to the team? What are their duties? What are the drugs involved? How are they acquired? How are they kept? Who is allowed in and when? All of that is relevant. We're talking about doing a man to death judicially. These are the people who are chosen to decide the issue. Why should the facts of the nitty-gritty of the process be hidden from them, Judge? It is completely relevant.
Steve?
I mean, that would be like we're going to try to introduce all these facts about what parts of prison, that they have vending machines and that he gets to eat pizza. The jury, they have to decide whether or not, based on the aggravating factors, that if they've been proven beyond a reasonable doubt and if that's sufficient to recommend a death sentence, then they consider the mitigating circumstances. I don't understand why he's just going to say this is a picture of the bed. What is?
Oh, I'm going to add to it in my closing, Mr. Cormier, and you can count on that. But those bare facts are what will come from the witness.
And if those are the bare facts, then I don't see what he's going to argue, because it would be facts that aren't in evidence.
I'm not sure that the issue is properly before me at this time, as far as to clarify what the state's concern is. Maybe it would be better to, because I don't want to create the argument by the defense like shadow boxing and then sustain an objection to it. I think it depends on the questions asked. If the state has a concern, we could handle that in limine before we get to it. But as Mr. Cormier said, he doesn't know what the questions
Did he say
to
lemonade?
be asked are going to be. I mean, I can kind of piece that together, but I may not be accurate, and I don't want to create the situation only to sustain an objection to it. but I'm open-minded to hearing more about that.
Judge, I beg your pardon. Can I just review that, the one photo that you had before you there?
I think I handed you the photo.
Yeah. There, Defense 2, Judge, you'll note also, which would be relevant to something I intend to mention in closing argument, depicts chairs for witnesses to the execution.
There again, I want to create the concern and then sustain my objection, sustain a general objection to what might be going on here or not. I do think it's objectionable to go into detail about the method of execution if the only purpose of that is to emotionally affect the jury as far as the method of execution. But there's a balancing test in that regard. That's why I'm not sure how far it's going to go, what the questions are going to be, whether it's objectionable.
I don't mean to interrupt, but how could a procedure laid out, considered, and written down by a state agency be considered as too emotional for a jury who's deciding whether to implement that procedure or not?
I don't see how it relates to a mitigating circumstance, a proper mitigating circumstance. I think there's a lot of case law detailing that as far as what's to be considered, as I've instructed the jury, the defendant's character, anything about the offense, but not going into the propriety of the death penalty in general, whether it's gruesome, whether we should have it to get the jury to legislate away the death penalty. But I don't know that that's what's happening here. The state's objection as far as relevance, I agree with Mr. Burns. I mean, if it's just pure relevance, that is what we're doing, as Mr. Burns said. We're asking the jury to consider the death penalty. So relevance is not the determination. But whether the defense is going into what I mentioned before, and there's ample case law talking about things that are not proper considerations as far as mitigation. It looks to me that that's where this is going, but I can't say that for sure, and I don't want to hamstring the defense if I'm not totally sure out of fairness, especially if this is coming through a witness regarding prison in general. Whether the defendant would be a good inmate is proper mitigation. That is considered proper. That's come up quite before. So I'm not sure whether the defense is going to cross a line there, whether the pictures involved do that. If it were the electric chair, that might be different, because the electric chair, when we had the electric chair, had a kind of a gruesome aspect to it. A gurney where you lay down and they administer drugs so that you drift off into the ether doesn't have that effect doing that. It's part of the reason I'm hesitating here. The gurney that's there would be a gurney where someone's laying down and they administer drugs to end someone's life by chemical means, which is has been considered to be very not a shocking scenario. But there again, I'm being cautious here. I don't want to willy-nilly globally say, oh, the defense has gurney pictures, therefore I know they're going to do this or that. That's why I'm inclined to say, let's see where the road takes us, but unless the state sees it differently. If you see no possible way of them having proper mitigation along those lines, I think it's a little premature to do that. So I'm open-minded too. We could, the witness is going to be, he is in the Zoom room. Banasco?
Yes.
I've got two Raul Banascos in the Zoom room. I'm going to let them both in. And maybe he has sometimes people have two devices. So if we get to that point, certainly we have ample time to do that. If the state has an objection, I could ask the jury to step out and we could field it then on these points and see exactly what's on the table.
The Greeners issue has been resolved. The Greeners we had banned was actually the troll account that came in impersonating Greeners. gritty. Let's listen
Getting
to
a
that
little
afternoon.
feedback. Oh, wait a second.
Is that me, Your Honor?
Oh, yeah, it's you. You've got two devices
Could
on.
be. Let's see. Say something.
Roll the next.
There's a bit of an echo there. How do you know why there would be an echo there?
Maybe because there's two of them.
Two devices.
You know, why do you have two entries? Are you using a different microphone or something?
No, and just on my dad's computer.
Okay, so I'm going to take one of you out here. Let's see. Let's see if we still have... Go ahead. Are you there?
Yes.
There you go. That took care of it. And for some reason, you entered twice.
Oh, you know what, Your Honor? When I signed out, I was having trouble and I re-signed, so I maybe had two sessions.
No, now it's perfectly crystal clear. Very good. So as to that issue, I will reserve ruling on that, depending on when it comes up and what the context is, and we can address that.
I'd point out is so these came from Google. Like you just Google Florida death row and they come up. And from what I can see from Google,
I'm probably going to forego it. Thank you, Mr. Cormier.
Okay. So
They will not be injured.
this one's from Oklahoma.
Okay. We do have Mr. Benasco. Did the defense, when we bring the jury in, I guess now in our modern age, the jury doesn't need a special instruction on Zoom. They're probably so familiar with it. But did you want me to tell them anything as far as they should treat Mr. Benasco as if he's here as a live witness? Or do you want to just get into that when you examine
I
him?
think it's an issue, Judge. I'll leave it to you. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
they'll treat him as any other witness.
Okay, yeah, I think they'd be fine with that. All right, anything else before we bring in the jury? Do we have all of the jurors? We do. Y'all ready for the jury?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's bring in the jury. We'll proceed.
Yeah, I think defense was going to go for everything the judge would let them get in, and the judge said, no, there's a limit. So we'll see how close they get. Obviously, it would be very smart for the defense, if it was allowed, to link the decision, the death penalty decision, to the act of carrying out the death penalty in the juror's mind. So they basically put it right at the forefront, saying, you checking this box, you might as well just be sticking the needle in his arm, right? So here's the needle, just go ahead and stick him now, type thing. It's harder to get somebody to say that. They can't do that. They can't do that. So they also can't say, how can you live with yourself if you make the decision? You're going to have to wake up every morning and look in the mirror and know that you condemned someone to die. That's also improper argument.
Jury is entering.
Electricity is so expensive these days, though. Just kidding, Mackenzie.
All right, jury is present. We proceed with the defense mitigation evidence, and the defense may call its first witness.
Thank you, Judge. The defense calls Raul Benasco.
Mr. Benasco, if you raise your right hand, I'll administer the oath to you. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, and you may inquire, Mr. Burns.
Thank you, Judge. Can you hear me, Raul?
Yes, I can, sir.
Okay, tell us who you are, please.
My name is Raul S. Benasco. I am a prison and jail expert who has been consulted to interview and give my professional opinion based on my experience in corrections and my education and training on this case.
You're on Zoom. Are you not in Florida?
No, I am actually in Austin, Texas today.
Are you working in Texas now?
I'm actually off for the afternoon, but yes, I do have a full-time employment, but I'm off for the rest of the day, sir.
Tell the jury about your education, please.
I have an undergraduate degree from Iona University in New York, with a focus on psychology, minor in criminal justice. I have a master's in public administration from Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton, Florida. I also have my certification as a public manager through the Florida Atlantic University Master's Program, and currently hold my certification as a jail manager through the American Jail Professional Commission. As well, I'm a certified corrections executive through the American Correctional Institution Organization on Professional Standards.
Are you working in jail or prison administration now in Austin, Texas?
Yes, I am.
How long have you worked in that field?
I've been in this field going on my 39th year. Started my social services public safety career in New York, did 2 years with the juvenile system, and in 1988 joined the Florida Department of Corrections as a corrections officer at the prison now known as Central Florida Reception Center in Orlando, Florida. During my approximately 20 years with the Florida Department of Corrections, worked my professional development through classification. I served as a supervisor as well as a probation supervisor, an assistant warden at 3 major institutions, warden at a major Hernando Correctional Institution, also served in the capacity as the director of training for the entire Department of Corrections for 2 years, and then transitioned into jail operations. I served as the major for the Orange County Jail in Orlando, the deputy chief and interim chief for Osceola County Corrections, and then retired from the Florida system, did some nonprofit work for 2 years, and then have ran jails in different states from San Antonio, Fort Worth, St. Louis, as well as now Austin, Texas.
So you have worked in corrections here in Florida?
And he gets paid by the hour, clearly.
20 years, yes, sir.
Are you familiar with Florida DOC policies and procedures?
Yes, I am, sir.
You're not here out of the goodness of your heart, are you? We're paying you for this work, correct?
Yes, sir.
How much do you charge per hour, sir?
My fees are $200 an hour to interview, review records pertaining to any case, as well as $225 an hour for testifying, and $110 for any travel time involved on any case.
How many hours have you put in on the Soto-Escalera case?
16 and a half hours.
Is this your first time testifying in court, sir?
No, sir.
Where have you testified before?
I have testified in a variety of states, particularly in Florida. I've testified on various cases from Dade County, Duval County, Lake County, Marion County, Volusia County, Lee County, Gadsden County, also in Panhandle, some of the Washington County, a variety of counties throughout the state of Florida, as well as done work in South Carolina, Louisiana, Georgia, Tennessee.
Do you testify always for the defense?
Yes, sir.
Has any state attorney's office, whether this one or anywhere else, ever used you as a consultant or consulted you on a case?
Not as a consultant, no, sir.
I'd like to talk to you, sir, for a moment or two about what life without parole would mean for an inmate so sentenced. Are you qualified to answer questions in that regard?
Yes, I am.
A person sentenced to Florida Department of Corrections to life without the possibility of parole, where are they housed? How are they housed in the system?
The way the process goes in the Florida prison system, like many, they are sentenced to a reception center in which they will go through 6 to 12 weeks going through a battery of assessment processes for mental health, medical, classification, custody review, and then they're sent to a permanent facility. An individual who is sentenced to life will always be close custody. They will be sent to a facility that has that security level. Their requirement, once they are transferred to that permanent facility, they will go through an assessment process through classification, known as the institutional classification team process, in which they will be assigned a job. Every inmate who's serving life at a facility designed, they are required to work 60 hours a week. They are required to show up to work in addition to other obligations. They will be housed in a custody level, as we know, as H4 or HO5, which means their housing facility assignment will be either with another inmate or several inmates, and after dark, they are secured behind 2 or 3 additional secure doors to ensure that that custody level doesn't have access to the compound as a whole. In addition to working 60 hours a week, they're required to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. They're required to march down to the chow hall, eat their meal within 7 to 10 minutes, return back to their assignment. They go through rigorous requirements. They get counted several times a day. They're told where to go, when to go. They have appointments to be at, and they're required to follow all the rules and regulations that the prison requires of them in that environment.
Is a prisoner serving life without parole, does such a prisoner shower every day?
Shower every day. They are given the option to shower in the evenings when the showers are open, but that is a communal shower environment in which they share in normal dormitories the ratio of maybe 15 showers for 250 inmates. There is a period of time in which the showers are open, and they have to take advantage of it. If they're not in that environment at that time or overslept, they just are not showered. They are also required to go to call-outs and have other obligations in which, when it comes to either the environment, TV, they share one communal TV per pod or per unit, in which they all have to decide what channel. So there is nothing individually catered to that individual inmate serving life. They have to share it with anywhere 70 to 150 inmates in that environment.
You indicated, I think, that a typical inmate serving life without possibility of parole is required to do work?
Yes. Every inmate, whether you have an impairment, you can be a wheelchair, medically declining individual, everyone is required to have a job assignment. It can be assigned as a houseman, and in this case, most of those who are healthy, they will be given an inside grounds job, which basically means they're given manual lawnmowers, they cut grass. We're talking big acre properties within the fence line. They also prepare meals. They keep up with the day-to-day maintenance concerns. If you have any skills in maintenance, painting, repairing sidewalks, landscaping, keeping the upkeep of the prisons, of these aging prisons, they're required to work 60 hours a week at their job assignment.
And a lot of their work is done to maintain the prison that holds them.
Correct. Basically, in the business of prison world, 85% of prisons upkeep are done by inmate labor and utilizing them to keep the facility operating.
So prisoners assist in cooking and cleaning and repairing and mowing grass, you said?
Yes, sir. They prepare meals, they launder the clothes, they paint the buildings, landscaping, and any kind of repair of plumbing or framing or any kind of construction repairs that need to be done within the fence.
What if the inmate says, no, I'm not going to do this work? What happens?
What happens when any prisoner or inmate refuses to work, they will get a disciplinary report, which basically is a rule infraction. Refusing to work, and what the process is, if you refuse to work, you get placed in administrative confinement, as we often know in the business as the whole, the confinement unit. You will go through an administrative process in which the individual inmate being charged with the rule infraction will have an opportunity for it to be investigated based on the officer's report. They can call witnesses. At a period of time, they will come across the disciplinary board, which is 2 members and sometimes 3 members of the institutional classification team. At that time, they will plead their case, and that team will make the decision with what the outcome is. And in most cases, you're found guilty and you're given a sanction of time in disciplinary confinement. And in many cases, additionally, they will take gain time. And what happens is the individual will remain in disciplinary confinement with no privileges, no access to anything but his legal paperwork, and based on their behavior while in disciplinary confinement, they will be reviewed weekly, and eventually, if they meet all the expectations, will be released back to open population.
Let us talk about inmates who are not sentenced to life without possibility of parole, but who are sentenced to death and are awaiting their executions on death row. Can you describe a death row cell to us, please?
Yes, and those, if I can digress a little, those who are sentenced to death go through a different process. They will be normally taken to RMC in North Florida, get processed within a couple of hours, and they're taken to either Union Correctional Institution. An inmate who is sitting on death row, the environment is slightly different. These are individuals that are housed alone in a 6x9 cell with their assigned toilet and stainless steel sink. They are permitted to have their own TV in their cell. They are not required to work, and they are not required to leave their cell. The meals are brought to them. Their laundry is brought to them. They have changed things on death row in the last 2 years, in which now inmates on death row have more time outside of their cells. They have visits with families. They have a tablet assigned to them where they can communicate with their family. They have day room time in which they can interact with other inmates on death row, as well as have additional recreation time outside of their cell as well.
When a death row inmate is permitted time out of his cell, does he share that time with other inmates? Is he by himself? Tell us about that.
No, he shares it with several inmates, 5 to 6, 7 inmates, when they're in the day room time, so they're in contact with other inmates on the same status on death row. Recreation, they also have access to other inmates playing basketball and having more out-of-cell time with other inmates in their same custody level.
Why are the inmates sentenced to death? Why don't they work?
The requirement is that those individuals, because of their custody level, there's very limited work assignments, and because of security grades, the expectation of the high risk, those are individuals that are classified at maximum custody, and these are the individuals, because of their sentence, have to be watched at all times and placed in a secure environment. Given them work assignments, it's not conducive to that environment. Often they can help out if they want, but they're not required because of their custody level and the security aspects that go with it in supervising them.
Regarding death row, is there just one death row in one Florida prison and all those awaiting execution are there?
Yes, for the men it's Union Correctional Institution, and for the women it's at the Ball Correctional Institution.
How many are presently on death row, do you know?
Currently, approximately 458 are on death row as of today.
It seems to me there have been a great number of executions so far just this year. Do you know how many?
I think approximately 12 this year. The 13th is scheduled for sometime this month, and the next one is tentatively scheduled in late October this year.
So there have been more executions than months in the year so far.
Objection as to relevance?
Yes.
I was not the one who contacted you initially on this case. Who contacted you regarding involving you in this Soto-Escalera case?
That was back on June 3rd. Sherry Schwartz, Dr. Schwartz, who's a mitigation specialist, reached out to me.
So she knew of your reputation and work in this field then?
Correct. I worked with her on some of the cases.
What were you requested to do?
I was requested to review all his corrections records, whether at the county jail, if he had any kind of prior prison involvement, review his assessment, have an in-person structured interview, assess the records that were provided to me, and give my professional opinion on how his adjustment has been while he's been in a corrections environment, and in this particular case for the last 7+ years.
Do you review records? What do you do?
Yes, I review records. I reviewed in this particular case over 220 records, pages of records that were provided to me for the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office jail operations based on his state since he's been booked there.
Did you get a chance to meet with or speak to Jose at any point?
Yes, I met with him on August 1st of 2025 for about an hour and a half at the St. Lucie County Jail, in which I had an in-person structured interview to meet with him.
Has Jose been in the St. Lucie County Jail since September 2018 consistently?
Yes.
Did you review any disciplinary reports regarding Jose Soto-Escalera from the St. Lucie County Jail during his 7 years of incarceration?
Yes, I did.
How many DRs or disciplinary referrals did you see in the records?
He technically had 3, but the way some jails do it, they lump them together. He had a disciplinary report back in 11/14 of 2019, and it was for unauthorized area while count, in which basically he was found guilty of that. Basically, during the count time in which they account for inmates, he was not where he should have been. They accounted for him, but he was not in the assigned area, in which they keep 30 days probation, which basically means don't mess up again or we'll take your privileges. And then in April 24th, 25, he had taken a table and some chairs to his cell, and when they were getting ready to lock down so he can play cards. So they actually wrote him up having a plan and causing a disturbance to operations in which he shouldn't have done it, but unfortunately he got caught and he was given a disciplinary infraction in which he pled guilty to.
Any disciplinary referrals regarding fighting, violence toward other inmates or towards guards?
Unfortunately, he got caught.
No, none of the records provided to me show any incidents or anything relating to any kind of violence, either with other inmates or with any of the staff or the corrections officers.
Do you yourself speak Spanish, sir?
Yes, I do.
Did you talk to Jose in English or Spanish or both?
I spoke to him in English. He speaks Spanish. We might have said a few words in Spanish, but everything was English-based interview.
Based on your training and years of experience and having reviewed the records, is 7 years of incarceration consistently sufficient for you to review Jose's situation and render an opinion about his future behavior while in custody?
Yes, sir. 7 years is a good amount of time in which someone who comes into a jail environment, corrections environment, to assess them based on how well they adjusted to the environment, both from a medical, physical perspective as well as behaviors. Yes, sir.
And what did you conclude specifically then about Jose Soto-Escalera's suitability or unsuitability to be a prisoner?
What I assessed based on my years of experience and training, here you had an individual who was booked for a crime which was well publicized. The individual has been in the county jail, which, understanding the county jail environment and the prison environment sort of has its differences, where county jails have inmates that come and go every day, from misdemeanors to major felony cases, where the population in the county jail is very fluid. Didn't see anything in his records that show that he had to remain in protective custody. Didn't see anything in his records that gave the impression or alluded to him not adjusting well. He followed all the rules. 7 years, he did receive 2 DRs. They were not major DRs. In fact, one was just getting probation. So at the end of the day, someone who's sitting in a county jail for 7 years with a fluid inmate population, where in that environment, inmates tend to try each other. They're either victims or victors. At the end of the day, he steered away from that. The records indicate he followed the rules. He stayed out of everyone's way. He didn't cause anyone any kind of challenges. And he's adjusted well in the prison, in the jail environment, which would indicate someone like him, when sent to prison, will adjust well, stature-wise, behavior-wise. He will follow the rules and regulations in that environment without any concerns, based on the records I reviewed.
When you met with Jose, did you have a chance to discuss his work history at all?
Yes, I did. Had the opportunity, part of the structured interview, talk about education, in which he told me he did not obtain his high school diploma, but he did obtain many other trades. He has experience in the carpentry field, profession, construction, laborer, framer. Some of the skills that he's mastered in the construction environment was something he was very well versed and knowledgeable and had work experience in.
Do any of those skills and abilities equip him to be a useful worker as a prisoner?
Someone like him, based on my many years of experience, particularly in classification, when they come to the reception center and end up at a permanent camp, what they do is they interview him based on his skills, because unfortunately prisons are, getting old and aged. So basically we assign work assignments. So every prison has assignments for carpenters, electricians, painters, general maintenance. And someone like him, who after a period of 60 to 90 days, who has done the entry-level jobs such as inside rounds in the heat, and they've proven to be a good worker based on the review we'll get every week and every month by the officers, will be basically assigned an assignment such as maintenance, so he can use his skills to help the upkeep of the prison. And basically it's an opportunity for the prison system to have labor, free labor, at the expense of the inmate being held accountable to perform those duties based on the need of the institution.
Did Jose's charges and current placement at the jail for these 7 years render him ineligible from participating in jail educational programs?
Based on the records I've seen, and because when you have cases like this based on the category classification level, which he's at the highest level, they do not, most jails like St. Lucie do not offer them the opportunity to have those education programs. And most likely, when he goes into the prison system, that will be the same approach. The investment, if sentenced to life, will not be for someone like him. They will utilize him for labor, and what he can help is sweat equity in keeping the prisons upkeep.
So I'm not sure of the answer. Could you have them clarify that if it's a yes or no? I'm not sure what the answer was.
Did you hear the judge?
Repeat it. Judge, Your Honor?
Yes. Could you clarify as far as how it's been in the jail and what it would be like in general population? It seemed to me that you were equating the two, and then there was a difference between the two. I wasn't sure what you were saying, what it would be like in prison and how it's been in the jail. I want to just clarify your answer.
Okay, Your Honor, so to clarify that, so in the jail environment, there's a lot of moving population types. So when I was referencing that, was based on his adjustment in the jail environment. Most inmates who are in a jail environment for a long period of time sometimes fights and have aggressive behavior based on the type of inmates that come in and out of that jail environment. Based on his 7 years, he's adjusted well, which based on my experience, someone like him who ends up in the prison system should adjust well. The only difference in the prison environment, Your Honor, is those individuals are actually assigned to that prison for several years, and we assign them based on their labor skills and what they can do to keep the facility operating. Does that answer your question, Your Honor?
It was a yes or no, I thought.
As long as Mr. Burns is comfortable with the answer, that's fine.
Yes, that's all right. Thank you, Judge. Now, I think you may have answered this question already. If this jury recommends that Jose be executed and that's what the judge orders, I think you said he would be welcomed into the system at the North Florida Reception Center and then he would go immediately to death row in Union Correctional. Is that correct?
Correct. It's normally done within several hours. They basically process them and move them into death row status.
And if Jose was sentenced to life without parole, where would he go? Do you know?
Because in St. Lucie County, he would go to Central Florida Reception Center. There's actually 4 male reception centers. He will be transferred to the reception center in which he will remain there anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks as he goes into the assessment process. And based on his medical grade, dental grade, psych grade, his assessment classification, as well as his security level, he will be assigned to a permanent prison throughout the state of Florida, and most likely will be in North Florida, where we have most of the prisons that house life inmates.
Now, in reviewing your notes here, I see that in Florida Department of Corrections, there must be facilities that are characterized as faith and character facilities. Is that correct?
The base facility, and often some of them are also in conjunction with incentivized prisons as well.
And would Jose be a good fit for a faith and character facility?
No.
The criteria for that is something he would have to earn. You have to have anywhere from 24 to 36 months in the prison system without any rule infractions, any kind of violence, in which at that point, wherever he's assigned, he can put in for that. But that goes through an assessment process, through classification, and gets approved all the way in central office. So it's something that he would have to earn and not automatically considered for.
So you have reviewed Jose's records, you have met with him, you have the experience and education that you have told us about. Do you believe that Jose could contribute and be a contributor, even if it be only to the state prison system, if he were sentenced to life without parole?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, I do.
The jury has been told by authoritative sources before, but I'll ask you also, does life without parole mean life without parole in Florida?
Push the lectern over, sir.
Yes, everyone, because parole doesn't exist since the 80s. Every inmate who was sentenced to the Department of Corrections with life without parole will never leave the prison fence line unless they're required to go out for a medical run, in which the proper security components. Other than that, they would expire their life in prison and be removed in a body bag, sir.
Thank you. That's all I have for you.
Cross-examination?
No questions from the state.
May Mr. Bonasco be released at this time?
You may, Judge. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right, I'm going to end the Zoom, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Are there other Zoomers or?
No, I have one person live.
Okay, so I will end the Zoom then. Okay.
Okay, we've got one more witness. It's going to be quick.
And did you need a break at this time? Or?
No, we can proceed unless
Okay.
the jury needs a break.
Jury need a restroom break? No, we're good. Okay, you may call your next witness.
Is Lucinda Cook? May we have her?
Sure. Lucinda Cook.
Cook.
Bailiff's like, who? Lucinda Cook. There's another $225 worth of taxpayer money spent on the previous witness. Rounded up to the next hour, of course.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
I would do witness.
And you may inquire of the witness, Mr. Burns, when ready.
Thank you. Sit real close to that microphone in front of you, ma'am. Tell us who you are.
I'm Lucinda Cook.
Speak up nice and loud. Who are you?
I'm Lucinda Cook.
One more time.
Okay, Lucinda Cook.
Go.
You see Jose there?
I do.
How do you know him?
I used to date him many years ago.
Can you give us a time frame?
2006, for about 4 or 5 years.
2006 to 2010, 2011, somewhere in there?
12, yeah.
And how well would you say you know Jose?
I knew the man that I was with back then very well.
You know that he has now been convicted of murdering a lady and her unborn baby, correct?
Yes.
And you're not here to quarrel with the jury about that.
No.
But is it fair to say that you do not recognize that murder in the Jose that you knew?
Absolutely not.
It's not fair.
What were your circumstances when you met Jose?
I was just getting out of an abusive relationship, a 10-year abusive relationship.
Did you have children?
I have 3.
How old were your children when you met Jose?
4, 2, and a newborn.
How did you meet Jose?
A barbecue, a friend's barbecue.
And was it a slow developing relationship or swiftly developing?
I mean, both. I mean, we dated for a year before we lived together.
Did you live together for that 4 or 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I need to say yes or no.
I did.
Okay, thank
Sorry.
you. Just so the record has it.
Yes.
Everybody knows what you mean, but the record needs to be clear. And you were about how old then when you met Jose in 2006?
24, 23.
When you were with Jose, how was he with your young children?
He loves children. He was very good with them.
And how did your children react to Jose?
They liked him as well.
How did you feel being in a relationship with Jose?
I was just getting out of an abusive relationship, so I wasn't very nice to him. But he did everything he knew to do to display a great characteristic of a man that my son should look up to.
Did Jose make you feel safe coming out of that relationship?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I could not hear the answer.
Absolutely.
Your children also?
Yes.
You indicated that I think maybe as a result of where your head was at coming out of that relationship, you said you were not always very nice to Jose?
I was not nice to the man at all. Sorry.
Crazy.
You were mean to him, I think you characterized it. Is that correct?
Yes.
How so?
Everything was worth an argument. Everything he did was wrong. I pushed his motorcycle down the driveway. I spit in his face. Told him to leave.
When you had disagreements and arguments with Jose, did he get violent with you?
Never. Ever. I didn't even get an argument out of him.
I think you just told us in one of your disagreements you spat upon him. How did he react to that?
Just wiped it off.
You mentioned a motorcycle. Jose had a super duper tricked out motorcycle, yes?
Yes, sir.
Paint job, a lot of chrome. He loved it. What did you do to it?
Pushed it down the driveway.
Because you were angry at him?
Because he wasn't moving fast enough. I was really mean.
I'm sorry. I think was that toward the end of the relationship you had enough, you said he'd go, but you punctuated that request by damaging his motorcycle?
I was just mean, and he wasn't moving fast enough. I don't know.
What did he do?
A lot of years ago.
What did he do when you did? Did he see you damage the motorcycle?
Yeah, he was right there.
What did he do to you?
Nothing. He just picked up the motorcycle and drove away.
So despite provocations, you have not ever seen Jose to be violent, is that so?
I've never seen the man be violent, and his occupation was a bouncer. I never even seen him fight a man.
And even when he was working security at clubs, he wouldn't fight?
Never. He was like a clown.
But there were other women in Jose's life, correct? And that's kind of why you ended it with him, yes?
I just had a drama-free life, and the extra drama from having multiple kids' mothers. I just didn't want my kids to witness it.
Yes.
I didn't want
One or more of Jose's other women would occasionally come around and interrupt your life. Is that correct?
because of their own problems, not necessarily my problems.
Would you describe Jose as easily excited and angered, or a calm person?
I'm not sure that I've ever seen him super angry, not to a violent state. I mean, mad at something, work or something, but not angry enough to do something.
You know, earlier today I told the judge, and then later I told this jury, that a lot of witnesses I was counting on didn't show up, but you are here. Why have you come?
Got a subpoena?
Joselito did everything during our 4-year relationship that he should have to display great characteristic of a man for my children. He would an example of a man that I should have probably treated a little better. And I was just, I can't sleep at night knowing that he's gonna lose his life. And I was so mean to him for no reason at all.
Well, we don't know that yet.
So you came to apologize?
Do you want him to lose his life?
No.
Thank you. That's all I have from you, man. Thank you so much.
Cross-examination?
So let me just figure out the timeline here. It sounds like you started dating the defendant in 2006, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then you broke up with him in 2013?
Late 11, 12, yeah.
2012? Okay. And if I understand correctly, you used to work down here at the gas station located at Midway and Selvas, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you used to see the defendant every once in a while when he'd come into the gas station, right?
Yes, sir.
And if I recall correctly, you did not speak to him when he came in.
I never spoke to him again until recently, after I left him.
Right, so when the defendant would come into the gas station, you ignored him.
And treat him like a stranger.
And treat him like a stranger, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so and then from 2012 up until just a few weeks ago, you didn't speak to him at all.
Absolutely not.
Right, so 13 years went by and you didn't speak a word to him.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then when you did speak to him again just a few weeks ago. Was that after the trial started?
I'm not sure. I didn't follow it or his situation. I've been getting phone calls from his children trying to get me to talk to him, but I didn't know why. I didn't know, I didn't follow. I don't watch TV, so I didn't know what was really going on. And I prayed on it for a while before I made my decision to help him.
Okay, but you said you spoke to him for the first time after 13 years a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So my question is this: how many weeks? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? How many? What would you say?
Let's go with a month. I don't know. I wasn't really recording dates. I didn't think I was.
A month. Okay. Okay, gotcha. And a lot can change with somebody after 13 years. Is
Absolutely.
that right? Okay. All right. No further questions.
Thank you.
You redirect? No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. May Ms. Cook be released from subpoena if she is under subpoena at this time?
Yes, sir. She's on the speech.
Any objection?
No objection.
Thank you, Ms. Cook. You're released from your subpoena at this time. You're free to stay or leave as you wish.
I want to see if she
Hey,
stays.
counsel, if you want to approach.
Thank you.
She was walking towards the door. Defense might ask her to stay. It'd be really nice if you could stay right there. So now she's going to stay. Now we have a show of support, which he has not had thus far. And I hate to be a spoiler, but we're done for the day. We're done for the day. It's 2:00 almost, and that's it. Defense has not managed to get anyone else here. It's one more hour before the people up in Connecticut even hop on the plane to fly down to Florida. We thought his dad was going to fly in from Puerto Rico. That didn't materialize, at least has not yet.
Members of the jury, as I told you this morning, we're going to have a short afternoon. Those are all the witnesses for this afternoon. We are going to restart tomorrow. There's some work we need to do outside of your presence, so we're going to ask you to come in at 9:30, not 8:45. Gives you a little extra time, but we are still on course to get the case to you tomorrow afternoon. Please remember, of course, you know what I'm going to say. We're very near the end of this case. We're going to be recessing for the evening. Don't discuss the case with anyone. Don't do any research. Avoid all of the media coverage of the case. We're almost there at the end of the case. And enjoy your evening. Leave your notes on your chairs, and we'll see you in the morning, 9:30.
It'll be interesting to see who shows up tomorrow to testify. Interesting to hear the ex-girlfriend testify. I would put that in a very distant contact, someone you dated a dozen or more years ago, even if it was for a few years. It just seems surprising to me. They're digging deep for sure. Jury's gone. Did she leave too? What was her motivation for testifying? I think I guess you could list it as a guilty conscience. She felt bad for how she treated him during their relationship while they were dating. But she didn't feel bad. Oh, she's still here. She didn't feel bad.
Any other issues for us to address before we break until the morning?
No, sir.
All right, we'll see you in the morning. The
Until
interpreter
now.
is going to be here at 8:30 to assist you all. I'll be here at 8:45, and then the jury's coming at 9:30, so we're on track. And we'll see you in the morning. Enjoy your evening.
And afternoon, since we get both of them. Interesting. Got a call coming in. It's not a spam call. We'll see if we can take this one on the air. If I can get it plugged in.
Call from. Hi, it's Edith.
Hey, Edith, this is R.A. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm sorry to bother you.
you're
Real
good.
quick, I just had a question.
Yeah.
When they decide, the judges on these cases, like, how do they, like, are they on a rotation? How does that work? Because this judge seems very, very lenient.
There are many different judges, and every judge has their own style. The judges serve, initially they're appointed, and then they're up for retention votes, which is basically sort of like running for office, but not, right? It's a ballot that's cast during the election, but it's not really a political type thing. And so basically most judges get retained just because there's name recognition. But usually on a retention vote, it would say, should so-and-so be retained? Yes or no. It's not like, should we replace him with this person? It's just, should we keep this judge or not? And usually, as long as they don't do something drastic that causes the whole community to be just like really mad at them, they usually keep their job. And then once they're on the job, they just rotate through assignments. So
I thought maybe like they drew tiles, like in Survivor, reach in a bag and grab out a tile, because he just does not seem like he has the right demeanor.
Somebody got the short straw.
Kind of,
yeah.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
That's the personal quirks of the judge, basically, is how that comes down.
Okay. And one other quick question. Why is it that the family now can't Zoom, that now we have to pay for them to come here?
That is a great question. The money was set aside. It was approved previously that this money would be set aside and could be spent on bringing witnesses, because this is still part of the trial. They still can, have expenses to bring witnesses into the court. And so that was approved. And the judge seemed to, I thought, when we left on Friday, I thought it was like, okay, you guys, we're doing this on Zoom. And then we come in today and it's like, oh, they're flying in. And their flight leaves at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Right.
I don't know. The judge said it was a snafu, a communication snafu. So I'm guessing that was on the defense part.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I wanted to ask you. I'm sorry to bother you.
No worries. Thanks for the call. We'll see you.
Oh, and by the way, I got my greens because I paid for it. I didn't win anything. You
didn't win?
But I didn't. Yeah.
I'm sorry you didn't win, but it's wonderful to see you in green. So
I just hope I don't overdraw my checking account for next month.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just be here. That's it. All right. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Oh man. Let's see. You're a winner in our book. Let's see. We've got the early afternoon. I'm not going to work. I'm not going to work really late tonight, because I've got to go to the venue and start doing some testing on this. I told you we've got this gig this weekend that just doubled in size, and my part, most of my work that I was doing, all the technical stuff with cameras and switchers and everything, was going to be on Sunday. Now there's a Saturday component that has a whole bunch of technical stuff that they just like, oh, and by the way, can you do this? The short answer is yes, I can do it, because that's what I do. And but I have to get it set up. I have to know that cables, connections, that feeds will work right. There won't be loops. The audio is going to pass through, all the things. That test is going to be tonight, and then I'll feel a lot better going forward. Should we portal to Trial TV? What's Trial TV following right now? Let's do a quick check. Which case are they on? I don't need to go quite yet, so let's see.
In Burnett County Jail, we have his counsel, Alec Duffy, appearing by video. We're set today in this matter for an initial appearance. Mr. Duffy, were you able to go over the criminal complaint with Mr. Churchill?
Your Honor, I was not, but he is currently in custody on what was found to be a probation violation, and the attorney of record, the probation violation was based on this case. So I am confident that he understands the charges against him, and we'd waive a formal reading here today.
All right, not guilty plea will be entered on his behalf. You're still in West Hurdle Drive, is that correct, Mr. Churchill?
Yeah, that's correct.
And your telephone ends in 08?
No.
Do you have an updated telephone number?
Yeah, I do. Would you like it?
Yes, please.
867-5309. 867-5309. Do I have spare cables? I have spare cables.
Notifications of upcoming hearing dates?
I'm serving revocation till May. So.
So they're looking at revoking. Okay, so then it's not necessary that that's going to happen. You can talk to your attorney about that. They may be looking at revoking, but thank you for letting me know, because that gives me an idea of timeline, and we don't have any time crunch. Mr. Duffy, you are traveling from a ways away from St. Paul, I believe. You may appear by video conferencing for all matters except for a plea and sentencing. unless Mr. Churchill is okay with you appearing by video. Let's get a status conference scheduled for down the road. Will this be your case or Mr. Schmidt's?
This will be my case, Your Honor.
Is victim looking at having any more a speedy type disposition? No. All right. Wow, it's just pretty booked until December, the first week of December. Can you do a status conference, Mr. Duffy, December 8th at 9:30?
Yes, Your Honor, I can.
All right, thank you. If by chance, since this is a long distance away, unfortunately, if there's by chance negotiation and the matter is going to resolve and he'd like to take care of it, we could resolve it. Just let the court know a week or two in advance. However, based upon his statement here today, I don't think that there's any rush on his part to try and get the matter done.
That'd be correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. We are adjourned.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
You too. I have a telephone of 715-939.
Okay, don't give out the telephone numbers.
All right, just hold on, Miss Maloney, and we'll get to your case when we are able.
LaShawn is up.
Thank you.
LaShawn is right here.
Mr. Anderson, have you applied for a public defender?
Yes, I have.
Let me just quick see.
You know
I don't know.
LaShawn?
Did you just apply?
Yes, I just applied.
And did you qualify?
Good guy,
So you're going to wait for
character
Mr. Flisky, so we'll just wait.
Does he work for you?
LaShawn James, Mr. James, have you applied for a public defender? Oh, never mind. It
No.
doesn't matter. It's okay. I just need to hear you. That's okay. Just hold on one sec. We'll get on it. We'll see what we're going to do. We will go on the record in the matter 25 CM 150, State of Wisconsin versus LaShawn James. The state appears through Jose Villa in person. We have LaShawn James appearing by video conferencing with approval of the court without counsel. We're set for an initial appearance. This is a simple possession of THC. Is there an offer that can be presented?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer is to amend this down to an ordinance violation.
You understand what that means, Mr. James? He's asking to have the court amend it from a misdemeanor, a crime, down to an ordinance violation, which is like a ticket, a fine. Do you understand that?
Take the deal.
Yes,
Take
Your Honor.
the deal.
Is that something you wish to accept?
Yes.
All right. Formal motion to amend?
So moved.
Granted. How do you wish to plead? Either guilty or no contest?
No contest.
No contest.
No
Okay, the court will enter a no contest plea on your behalf. Are you still on West Broadway Avenue North?
Yes.
Telephone ends.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, may we send you text messages if we need to?
Yes.
I won't read them, but you can send them.
I'm going to assess $250. Can you pay that within 30 days?
It's a money grab.
Yes. Is there a possible payment plan, or does it have to be all up front?
Well, if you pay it all in 30 days, that's why I'm doing the $250. Otherwise, it's supposed to be $330.50. I'm giving you a little bit of a deal, hoping that you can pay it within 30 days. Can you do that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Make sure you do, because if you don't, not only will a civil judgment be entered against you, but the court will issue a warrant and you could sit up to 6 months in jail, okay?
Whoa.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Gotta
We
get on
are
the hustle.
adjourned.
You Gotta
Ms.
hustle.
Lightfeather?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. James. Do I have Angel Lightfeather? I do not see her. Maybe she's outside. She could be outside. Sean Lindis, you applied. He might be outside, but I know he applied for a PD.
I'm here.
Oh, you're there? Oh, you're in custody? Okay, I cannot see you. Can you please start the video?
Start your camera.
I'm just going to have you hang out for a little bit until I can have the public defender here so I can ask him if he's going to make a special appearance on your behalf, because I know you applied and they're looking for an attorney. We will go on the record in the matter 25 CT 22, State of Wisconsin versus Melissa Maloney. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Jose Villa in person. We have Mrs. Maloney.
Where'd you go? The feed took a dive. I'm still here. Look. Might have to jump from that one if they can't figure out their internet. What's the internet like up there? Ivan, is that in your neck of the woods? Like, it's close enough that you're familiar with the area. Let's see. We're supposed to have the Spence trial starting, which I was hoping we could jump to. But I want to finish up this one first. We'll probably do catch up on that tomorrow. Let's see. Getting these notifications for some really cool audio setups. Sennheiser EWDX wireless mobile recording workstation. That looks awesome. Big fan of Sennheiser. They make some great microphones. I think we're done. Judge Middleton's not live, right?
Yes, I
Is this the only one you've got?
He's not live. That was old. I think we're done. What do we do now? Screener just appeared. No, I don't know where he is, but I'm hoping he's okay wherever he is. Sound is bad on the Spence trial. Northwest, that's like a bell to me. You ring the bell. I'll do what I can to fix it. No, don't go. We've done everything we can to summon greeners except a rain dance. So might have to try that. Let's call him. I could do that. I generally don't just make random unsolicited calls to viewers to say, why aren't you watching? That just seems a little entitled, right? On my part. Not going to cover Turtle Boy. I think Melanie Little is covering that one. We cover the main case, the Karen Reed case, but I don't cover the ancillary cases, if you know what I mean. Graders would love it. It sounds hilarious. The funny thing is, I've got most of your numbers. If you've called the burner phone, we've probably got you saved on here, and we could find you and give you a call. Broken Baker has it. Let's go to Broken Baker. Let's do Broken Baker. He has rated us and trusted us with his muffin tops, and I'd like to return the favor. Let's see where he's at. Broken Baker's covering Ayden. So he's covering the Turtle Boy thing. So if that's not your thing, I understand. If it is, great. Either way, it would be really good if I transfer you over. I haven't even been working hard. That's hard work. It would be really awesome if you make the jump, click the like button, say hi, and then bail if it's not your thing. just to give him a show of support. It does help his channel. Just it's free as well. It's the nice thing to do. So we're gonna portal to Broken Baker, and I'm gonna start packing up my stuff to go do my gig setup tonight. And that's it. Anything else? Anything else you could do for y'all? Y'all are amazing. Happy Wednesday. Halfway through the work week. Jump, land, like, and then if you want to leave, you can leave. But also, it's always cool to just hang out with a different group for a little while, make some new friends, or see some old friends that you haven't seen in a while. Sometimes that happens as well. So here we go. We're starting the music. Yep. Turtle Boy Live is going to be covered by Broken Baker. We're going to portal over there. Please, when you get there, say a kind word. You don't have to say, hey, RA sent me. Just say, hey, thanks. Thanks for covering this. You guys are awesome. So happy to be with you today. I'm not looking for the credit on all of this, but because you guys are amazing on and of yourselves, and I did none of it. Literally. I did none of it. So, but... anyways, I do support all our other creators in the space, this LawTube and LawTube adjacency space. I think it's wonderful that we have different variety of people we can watch with and watch different courts with and get different perspectives on. I think that's good for us. I think it's good. I don't know, Pickles not politics, but I think it's good to have different perspectives presented so we can make an informed decision ourselves. And that would be great. I would ask that if you go over there, please be respectful of his channel rules, however lenient or permissible they may be. Or strict, either way. So good luck making it through the portal. I'll get all my work done tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with the final in the Jose Soto-Escalera case, which we think will include verdict music once again and a possible, well, only two possibilities: life in prison without parole or the death penalty. So tomorrow will tell. Y'all have a good one. We will see you tomorrow, which is also podcast Thursday. Yay! It's gonna be fun, right? That's it. Bye-bye.
Now I'm trying to have court. You don't raise your voice.
There's nothing in the order that restrains you from talking to cats.
Thank you.
Because he's the guy.